morning. I'm Marcus Michles from Michles Booth here with this week's installment of our video blog, and I've got with me Brian Carter, also known as the Workers' Comp Czar. Yeah. And we're going to talk a little bit about when two worlds collide. I don't practice workers' comp. Brian doesn't do any personal injury. We specialize in our distinct areas, but sometimes those areas, they work together.
Unfortunately, they do. Sometimes, we always say accidents happen when you least expect it. And there's individuals that are out and about, they're traveling on the job, they're driving to appointments or whatnot. Unfortunately, sometimes they get in auto accidents within the course and scope of employment.
And in the personal injury world, they would have rights that would inure to their benefit. Their PIP often is kicking in. They've got on their own policy. They've got their own car policy, which they may not think applies in any respect because the accident happened on the job. Since it happens on the job, they've got rights and entitlements over there in that system as well, and those rights exist simultaneously.
They do. They run concurrent. As we've talked in prior blogs, the amount of attorneys practicing work comp is diminishing, and a lot of individuals who have been involved in a car accident, they go and see an attorney, and if those attorneys don't have a background in comp, they may not think about it or may not prioritize that opportunity and that claim, and either don't focus on it at all or gloss over it, compromising the opportunity for treatment.
Yeah, and that can really work to the client's disadvantage. I know that when I have a case where the injury occurred on the job, but it involves personal injury, I always involve within our firm lawyers that work in the comp area or have worked in the comp area before. We're lucky to have 3 or 4, in addition to you and Antonio here, that are still every day working workers' comp lawyers. We've got 4 maybe, that have done significant workers' comp work in the past. And what you got to really understand is that it's a strategic decision. You've got basically trains on 2 tracks working under 2 entirely different systems. But if you're using them correctly, if your lawyer understands both of those systems, it can often work to the client's benefit.
Oh, absolutely. And like you say, it is a strategy. A lot of clients that I meet with that have both, a lot of times they want to just pursue the motor vehicle accident because they're afraid or don't want to upset their employer by pursuing the comp benefits. But as you know, depending on the extent of the injuries, if somebody's out of work for months on time, they can ultimately lose their job, lose health insurance because they can't afford their COBRA, and then ultimately not be able to get medical treatment that they would need, whereas all of that would have been provided by workers' comp.
Yeah, and many times after you analyze, the lawyer's in a position of analyzing what coverages are available and how to maximize the recovery for the client, of course. But sometimes it's a function of using those PIP benefits to offset the lien that has been established through the workers' comp care. So comp can be required to provide health care, but have a right to be reimbursed out of the proceeds that are collected in the personal injury claim. And so you can use some of those benefits to offset the two different debts.
Well, and anything that you are provided through the workers' compensation is what we call boardable, or it's something that you can claim as your damages for purposes of your motor vehicle accident. So the two work together.
Yeah.
And by law, the workers' compensation carrier is statutorily obligated to assist in that third-party claim or the motor vehicle accident. So
sometimes we find that you have a greater flexibility in the personal injury side in terms of selecting your physicians and manipulating, if you will, some of your treatment. In the comp system, the comp carrier is really holding the cards, although there's some rules that allow you to make some changes, I think a one-time change.
Correct.
But in the personal injury world, if you use your PIP benefits correctly, you can select your healthcare provider based upon relationship, reputation, and not be bound by some of the restrictions in the comp area. It provides some freedoms. But at the end of the day, every case is unique. I would strongly advise you, if you've been injured on the job in a motor vehicle accident where somebody else was at fault, make sure that you have a lawyer that understands both of those systems, or in this case, 2 lawyers, one that knows each of the systems.
Right.
Well, Brian, what are we going to do to make this system a little more fair for the claimant?
That's a tough question. Unfortunately, when lawyers go to Congress and over to Tallahassee and they try and talk, they get the bad reputation of just being there to be driven by money. I urge everybody out there, especially people that have been injured that have gone through the system. Contact your local representatives. Let them know what you've been through. Let them know the frustrations of the system, so that your voice is heard. Because I think that's the most important thing, is that when only one voice, and that voice is the insurance company, and that voice is lined with a lot of special interest money, donations.
I've heard about you. You're that guy. You're that last guy that has faith in the political system.
Oh, yeah,
I heard there was one more guy out there.
I'm still waving. The czar is waving the flag, in belief.
So you actually believe you can go to Tallahassee, talk to the legislature, talk to your legislator, and they're going to listen to you, even if you're not a special interest group or a big money PAC.
Well, I believe if we give that up, all hope is lost. and so I would say, call your representatives. Keep fighting. In the meantime, call a lawyer to make sure that they are looking at the law and advising you so that you can get the best help you can in the immediate.
Well, I'm being facetious, as you know, but we both have been over to Tallahassee. I'm scheduled to go again in a couple of weeks and try to bang our head on that wall that is known as the House and the State Senate. But you have these conversations, like you say, on behalf of our clients. And whether it's true or perceived, I guess I'm too close to know, but the politicians look at us like, you're just trying to figure out ways to make money. Mm-hmm. And you know what? We make a good living. Mm-hmm. It's not about that anymore. At this stage of my career, it certainly isn't about that. It's about getting a system that works. And the envision of the system, the plans that went into these systems were good. Mm-hmm. Their concepts were pretty fair and pretty valid. They just become corrupted over time. And they get further and further from the model.
And further from the victims, and as you say, I mean, a lot of people, I joke, they point out that the fees for work comp attorneys aren't a lot, and there might be other areas of the law that honestly would be more profitable, but I believe in helping these people, and they are voiceless in a lot of ways, and I think that if we just give up on that, then there's going to be a lot of people out there that get hurt, taken advantage of, and I might be the last guy on the hill one day, but we'll be there.
Yeah. So if you got questions that involve a workers' comp claim or questions that involve a personal injury claim that occurred at work, you can give us a call. You ask for Brian, ask for me. I'm Marcus. And if you've got questions or suggestions about our video blog, go online, take a look at us. We're forthevictims.com/blog, and we'll find you, or we'll get back to you if you call. In the meantime, we'll see you next week. On behalf of Brian Carter, I'm Marcus Michles. Thanks for watching.